I thought I will share some of my thoughts about the revolution of AI. Is AI ruining photography? Is product photography coming to its end? Or will small production companies go out of business because of AI? I think these are only few questions that we as photographers are thinking about very often lately. In recent years, AI has made really strong entrance into the creative industry. It has turned our industry upside down, and what once started as a simple automation tool has now quickly evolved into a powerful tool that is creating images, videos, music, text, you name it. Without a doubt, it is reshaping our whole creative industry. A few years back, nobody really thought that this artificial intelligence is able to generate so lifelike images. Today, we see really beautiful content generated by AI, and I must say that looking at these images, it feels a bit scary indeed. My first thought was that yes, now it is just a matter of time, AI is taking over and we are all out of job very soon. At least based on the content I saw in social media, that it is so easy to generate content for your business and you don't need a photographer, graphical designer or copywriter ever again. But then I started thinking, is it really so bad? When I started my photography career, then I had my camera, lights, Photoshop, and that's all I had back then. I was shooting the images and edited them all by myself while learning every day something new. And during that time, I gained skills that are really important when shooting professional images. But thinking back, I remember it took me ages to edit my images, as the Photoshop was just a simple tool to cut out needed pieces and stitch them together. And after that, using clone tool, I was cleaning up everything I needed. But it was so hard to remove some of the effects from the products that couldn't be removed during the shoot, and I was always hoping to find one day that tool that would do this faster. And all those years I evolved as a product photographer in this natural way by learning through practicing. I was used to having to do all the work by myself, although it took me quite a lot of time. In some cases, I was able to use outsourced help from retouchers or set designers, but mostly I did it by myself and it took me time. I grew up like that, and this was my reality. This is how things are done in my world. This was normal. But then AI started to evolve and I started to see all those generated images, and they got better and better every year. And today, it is almost impossible to make difference of what is real and what is computer generated. It was really difficult for me to accept that images which would take hours for me to create can be generated in seconds, and they all look amazing. So that was quite frustrating to accept, and it made me feel that creative industry is now shifting and it's losing its soul. All the content is being generated in seconds and there is no personal touch in it. So as a photographer, what else should I feel than being scared in this situation? But then I started thinking, if it is really end of creative industry as we know it, or it is an evolution instead. When I think back 200 years when the first ever photo was taken, then I have a feeling that all those painters felt the same way, that now it is going to be an end of painted images because people invented photography. But instead, 200 years later, we see both art forms successfully side by side. Or let's take, for example, car industry. If Henry Ford would have asked people if they want cars, then they would have said that they want faster horses, not some weird cars. So this is just an evolution of art, I think. 20 years ago, I had no idea that it is possible to create content alone in such a scale as I do today. But that doesn't mean that it is all bad. It means I can do my work faster using tools that are available today, and it is including AI. And instead of spending hours working on my photos, editing all the details like I did when I started out. I spend time with my family. I have got the tools that I was dreaming about when I started out, so I should use those wisely and make my life easier. So now, let's get to my point. I think that AI is not taking away my work as a photographer. Instead, it is making my work easier and is slightly transforming my work as a photographer. We see a lot of content generated by AI. Social media is full of those ads where they say that you will never ever need another photographer to create your product images. And yeah, I think it might be true in some level, probably is. But let's now think about the client perspective. They are concentrating to sell their products as they have always done. 10 years ago, when they needed images for their products, then they just contacted photographer. They introduced their vision and then the photographer created content for them with its own personal style. It took a lot of skills to create those images, emphasizing little details on the products and telling a story with the set design and so on. And this was the element that made product photographer important and unique, as he understood exactly what is needed for the images. Now, let's take today. Client is selling their products in e-com. They need images, but just like 10 years ago, they are busy with running their business. And they don't want to get into that AI world where they need to dig into all those different programs and details that they need to know and describe to the AI in order to get some image content. And it might not end up as expected at all. AI is a fairly complicated system and it needs very specific approach to get some proper content out of it. Of course, we all see those online ads that it has never been easier to create images for your products, but once you actually start using it, you will see that you need very good skills to work with it. So instead, clients will still find a photographer who can create everything exactly like they need. Now, that does not mean that it is still all done like old school, but photographer has that unique skill that is needed to create a style, story and emotion. It doesn't really matter what tools are used for that. Old school, we did it all in camera. Last 30 years, at least, we've done it with the help of Photoshop. And now I think we will start doing this with the help of AI. We just need to adjust with the changes, not fight against. In this situation, I would consider AI as a co-producer for me, not a separate individual tool that does all my work. We, as product photographers, will still be always needed for our unique approach. We are all different and we all have our different styles. Most importantly, we are creative artists. But is it really so important that we need to use that specific device that is called camera for the art that we create? Or we consider that just like, for example, pencil or brush? I don't think we need to get stuck in the gear that we use, but we should concentrate on the end result, no matter what devices we use for that. Our work process will change. The whole industry will change. It has already. It will probably change a lot more in the near future. But I don't think that we are now all out of jobs because of AI. Of course, there will be always those online sellers who are generating massive amount of images and they are using AI for that. And there will be even more of those aggressive ads where they say that you will never ever need a photographer again. But those clients have been there all the time. So far, they shot the content with their phone or with whatever they got in hands just to save some money. But let's just say that they are not our clients. We have still a lot of job to do helping our clients to create good and meaningful content. And it is even more important today in this oversaturated AI content market. Are we doing this with the camera or with the computer? Well, this is up to us. I personally use both to get most out of it. So all in all, I think AI revolution in creative industry is not so bad after all. It has an impact on some jobs more than others. Those that are affected will be changed into new positions that are needed in order to keep the creative content industry running. I will keep shooting products, and I will be using AI tools to make it faster and easier for both me and my clients. So these are my thoughts today about AI revolution, and it is not based on any scientific material, just my own thoughts based on what I see today. I hope you got some inspiration from this video, and please let me know your thoughts about AI, as I would like to hear what you think about that. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.